Penance RPG and its affiliate sponsor, D&Dice, makers of dice for all types of heroes, proudly presents Plummet, Falling in the Dark, a Penance RPG adaptation. This bard's tale, as is customary in these parts, may contain strong adult themes, cursing, and high adventure. For now, time turns, the path is open. Let the story commence.
Welcome to episode 25 of Plummet. Who are you? What are you? And in honor of National Find a Rainbow Day, where's your favourite place to find a rainbow? Starting with Belry.
Hello, it's me, Belry. I'm playing Barry B. Beesbury, the intermittently brummy Aprimancer. And I have some kebab meat and some toffee pudding ale, and that seems like something to do in Brum. I'll tell you what, come back to me at the end.
Aha!
It gives me more time to come up with a halfway decent answer for where the fuck rainbows come from.
Squid?
I'm almost going to sort of ape the character out of, I think it was the Long Dark Tea Time of the Soul, that he's a long-distance lorry driver and doesn't know that he's actually the Norse god of rain, as that seems to be me, that rain follows me everywhere. But on the plus side, there seems to be rainbows around me quite a lot.
And your character?
Sorry, yes, Kursk, who is a half-orc berserker.
Cool. Lenida?
Yes, hi, I'm Lenida. I play Stu Nicola Nin, our human female skirmisher, who is really, really tall and has a really, really deep voice when I feel like it. And, well, my favorite place to find rainbows is probably at the pot of gold at the end of it. So I usually skip the rainbows and just go for the pot of gold, and there's always a rainbow there as well, so yeah.
So where is this pot of gold?
Well, it's at the end of the rainbow, of course.
Ah.
Okay.
Ash?
Hello, I play Whispers in the Gloaming. She is a Tabaxi Shadowwalker. My favourite place to find a rainbow is in the sky.
Fair enough. And Belry?
Hello, it's me, Belry. I am playing the intermittently brummy Barry B. Beesbury. And yes, I'm using the same intro because I liked it quite a lot last time.
You do know
I also have a kebab.
Saying that in now.
I do. I also have a kebab and some sticky toffee ale, and that seems pretty brummy, so it's just RP. As for rainbow locations, I suppose anywhere where there is a sufficient degree of precipitation in the air, where the water even in the air can act as a prism to split the light, thereby forming the rainbow. Ireland, according to the internet, has a lot of them, because it's rainy as fuck there.
So your favourite place to find a rainbow is Ireland?
Yes, even though I've never been.
Well, anyway.
And on that note, we open the book. Dragon.
As Kursk ran off to search for a way out of the waterlogged caverns, Frankie reappeared in front of the rest of the party, chased, as ever, by the vicious crocodile. Stu took pity on Frankie and used the final wish of the monkey paw she had found to make the croc disappear. Unfortunately, the world of magic is a literal one, and instead of the furious lizard being summoned elsewhere, instead of chasing Frankie, the magic changed it to become invisible from sight. This news did not sit well with Frankie, but after a short fiasco in a cupboard attempting to hide from the beast, the party decided best to just push on through the caverns, hoping to uncover the exit. After climbing some stairs, they encountered a massive pit full of enormous, writhing worms. Two massive Ettins then appeared from the door at the other side, dragging with them several screaming villagers before hurling these poor souls into the pit. Arrows flew from the party as they attempted to take down the Ettins, but while the beasts were easily dispatched, the constant terror of the invisible crocodile struck at Frankie, biting him around the head and causing him to scream for help. Several failed attempts to help later, including Barry B. Beesbury breaking Frankie's nose, and Igneous accidentally castrating Frankie with a stray crossbow bolt. The beast was eventually chased off, and as the arrows in its back bobbed through the water in the passage behind them, the party attempted to console the distraught Frankie, who had finally lost it with the incompetence of his compatriots. Several minutes of cursing followed before they agreed it best to push on for now, crossing the rickety wooden bridges that spanned the worm-filled pit before continuing through the door the Ettins had come through. Several large chambers were here to explore, with the first containing meriods, the second containing massive spiders, and the third being locked by keys only to be found in the spider room. The party bumblefucked their way through these interactions with the giant beasts, before escaping through the door, locking it behind them, and finally being 80% sure they were free of that damn crocodile. The passage ahead split, with one descending back into water, and the other containing a dead Ettin and a foul-smelling passage. Outright refusing to get wet again, the party wandered past the dead Ettin, triggering hissing sounds in the dark, before being stalked by a slender beast with razor-sharp claws. Proving once again they are their own worst enemy, Stu swung her blades, slicing neatly through Frankie's leg and the recently restored genitalia of Igneous, pissing off the dwarf and triggering further infighting. As luck would have it, they were able to backtrack on themselves with very little issue from the hissing darkness, descending down into the water and swimming through to the next cavern, which contained several malnourished bandits held in cages. Despite Barry B. Beesbury's desire to turn one of these hapless rogues into a bee bomb, it was decided to release these prisoners, if only to provide the party with a distraction to get past the large, armoured Ettin guards that waited ahead. As the violence intensified, the party snuck through to the final room, encountering a massive troll behind a desk covered in gold coins. A minotaur introduced himself as a servant of Bol Goreth, the troll who owned this region, and wished to know what they wanted. After a brief exchange, the party handed over a small chunk of gold and were led to a passageway. Sadly, it was only after the initial door was shut and bolted from the other side that the party realised they were now trapped in this small hallway.
And lo, the story continues. So, you all start off in this room, as I said, this sort of small corridor-like room with all these grooves on the floor. As you're sort of debating if you should try and shove your way back through the door and have it out with this minotaur that you just paid money to try and exit, the floor below you opens like a trapdoor, and all of you plunge into darkness. After a couple seconds of falling, you land in a very sort of high pressure, it's kind of like a sort of flume, and you were basically swept off into the dark. All of you are screaming at this point, and you hear yourselves fade in and out depending where you are. And some of you seem to be going off one direction, the rest of you seem to be going off another. And as you come out and daylight sprays into all of you, as you fly out of the end of this flume, effectively, and landing in this very sickly green pool, you find that it is just Stu, Whispers, and Barry B. Beesbury that have came out, and as you're sort of looking around in your waterlogged way, you notice Kursk sitting by the edge of the pool, also waterlogged.
It's okay, you don't need to be so formal, you can just call us Barry.
So you're now all in this like massive greenish coloured pool. What do you do?
Can we just get out of the pool?
Yep, you can swim to the edge of the pool. It basically is at the foot of this massive mountain, and you notice a sort of dirt path leading down from the top.
Okay. Because did you say that we were outside now in daylight,
Mhm.
or
You're outside in very, very sunny daylight.
cool?
Sorry,
guys.
Chesky boy. Where you been?
Yeah, Kurski's here.
Well,
That's all.
I'm sure I heard the noise for the Mr. Whippy cart that I usually buy my ice cream from, and I sort of wandered off, but I couldn't find him. I thought for a while this was melted choc chip ice cream, but it doesn't taste very nice.
Oh, that's
Why
too
it's
bad.
green, it will clearly be mint.
Mint choc chip, that's what I meant to say, yes.
Well, maybe now that we're
I think
outside
unfortunately
again.
shit, though.
As you pull yourself out of the pool and begin to dry off, you notice the sort of hill behind the mountain. On the edge of it, there seems to be this massive, dilapidated looking manor house with this huge crumbling stone wall in front of it. Immediately you all kind of, that must be the manor house we were actually meant to be going to.
If you say so.
Well, apart from Barry,
Yeah.
Barry just appeared from nowhere.
What happened to the short guy and the pervert? The pervert was Keith. No, he's not called Keith. What's he called?
Do you mean Frankie and
That's the one.
Eggy and
Keith?
Yeah.
Keith. That should be canon now.
Yeah.
Barry thinks Frankie's name is Keith. Yeah, that works. Barry
That
in all
sounds
forms
nice,
tonight, Barry.
How are you doing, Keith?
You don't see Iggy or
Um,
Keith, they seem to be disappeared for now.
Yeah. Since we're now out of the mountain and we actually know where we're going, guys, should we maybe go where we're supposed to? For once?
I think that's a good idea. They've probably wandered up there as well.
It would make sense, 'cause that's where they know we're going, so that's where we could find in the time.
Right.
So you head your way down and the hill rolls downwards before it rolls back up towards this manor house. When it gets to the bottom you notice that there's a lot of farmland that seems to have been consumed by water. It seems to be the sort of ruins of some windmills, the general fields look like they've been soaked through by about a foot of water. And there's a couple of bits of overgrown reed grass and obviously some angry ducks rolling around. What do you do?
Oh no, not angry ducks. I can't stand angry ducks.
Is it just angry ducks or
Yeah, it just seems to be farmland
no?
overrun by ducks, though there do seem to be a couple of figures walking around in like hoods that seem to be like tending to the farmland even though it's underwater.
I apologise. That was more a question directed to Stu, is whether it's just angry duck she doesn't like, with the implication that maybe she likes, I don't know, like embarrassed ducks.
This is going to be an episode of
Of all the
tangents. I can
questions.
feel it already.
It was just the first emotion I could think of, right? Apparently there were only two emotions, angry and embarrassed.
Yes. Exactly. It's just angry ducks. I like all of the kinds of ducks, you know, fluffy ducks and
Peking ducks.
and Peking ducks. Yes, Peking ducks especially. Yes. Should we just try to carefully move up to the characters in the field, or should we just pass the field and just ignore them and hope they don't attack us? What do you think,
Let's
guys?
just try and sneak past them, because we've got somewhere we need to be.
Okay.
Yeah.
The whole basically bottom of this like ravine is all like covered by about a foot of water. You can like wade through it, but there's no like dry way of getting to the other side.
I take it we're already really wet, so it
Yes,
doesn't really
you're already
matter.
soaking wet. Can everyone roll me an awareness check, please?
I love how I rolled exactly like I did the last roll I did the last episode.
I fucking 5 awareness and I get a 10.
As blind as the proverbial bat.
Okay. As you're sort of crossing, you notice that there are 4 or 5 ducks. And as you look away, you suddenly hear a sort of slight squawking, and you look back, and there are now 3 ducks. But it doesn't seem to have anything different. The rest seem to be indifferent, just swimming away peacefully.
Is the third duck like a baby duck?
No, just normal sized ducks.
Ling? Duckling, that's the word.
Just normal sized ducks.
Guys, I'm sensing an invisible crocodile here, but I'm not sure.
A what? An invisible crocodile?
Yes, I might have turned the evil bastard of a crocodile that was chasing Frankie into an invisible bastard of a crocodile in the mountains.
In the mountains.
Yeah.
Prove problematic, I think.
Yes, so be aware of any invisible crocodiles, but it should have arrows sticking out everywhere, so
Yeah.
you'll be able to see it.
Just keep an
Are the
eye out
arrows
for floating
invisible as well?
arrows.
Could just be something underwater pulling things under.
Yes, it might be that as well.
Maybe it's like those rings
Big
you get
snake.
from 6-packs.
I was thinking more like a big snake.
Yeah, we've encountered one of those before as well, yeah.
Or those horrible worm things that were in the drains.
Should we just...
Yeah, the bellry worms.
Should we maybe just try to make a run for it? How big is this field?
It's about the length of a field. It's about maybe 20-30 meters. And then the land begins to sort of slowly come back out of the water. You notice the figures in cloaks seem to be completely oblivious of you.
Okay. Stu is just gonna run for the other side as quick as she possibly can.
Okay. Roll to see how you get on.
Yeah, that worked well.
Stu lasts about 3 feet, then falls, plunges sort of face first into the water. The ducks go flying, making lots of noise, and a couple of the hooded figures turn to face you.
I think
They
Kirst goes
alarm?
over and sort of helps Stu up. Yeah, how do the hooded figures look?
Thank you, Kursk.
They sort of slowly make their way up towards you, and they go, "Ah! What are you doing?"
Oh. Are these bird women again, or bird persons?
Yep.
I think we encountered them like several episodes ago, right?
Yep.
Before some runestone something, yeah.
Are these ducks that are your children?
Just sort of looks at you with a very confused look in its face, and just like, "Children? What are children?"
Don't worry about children. I just fell over. We're not doing anything, actually, except crossing this field.
Have you brought
Hey,
blood?
Yes, but sadly we left it on the other side of the field.
You left the blood. Where did you leave the blood?
Well, if you just look the way we came, it's sort of lying there over on the... just at the edge of the water.
Lying
It
there?
might have fallen down.
Blood doesn't
Yes.
lie there.
Well, we keep it in jars, so our blood lies in jars over there, yes. The one we brought along, of course.
But when you're going over there, be careful, as I've just been informed there's a massive, evil, invisible crocodile as well.
It just looks at you like, what the actual fuck are you talking about?
And,
I just shrugged my
I was
shoulders.
just joking when I said pecan duck.
Yes,
I'm not one.
yes, he loves ducks with flavor of a pecan on them.
No, I don't. I don't eat. I don't like to eat ducks. No.
Eat ducks? Why would you eat
I don't-
ducks?
I wouldn't. I'm with you. It's disgusting. It's evil, isn't it? I don't know what's happened to this accent.
It's a waterlogged accent, yes. Well, we'll just be on our way then, and you'll take care. Have a nice afternoon.
Where are you going?
I'm here to tile that roof in that manor there.
Tile the roof. What do you mean?
Yeah, fix. I got a call saying there was a leak.
He
A
got a call on his cell phone, yes.
I got a call from a pigeon. From a pigeon.
It wasn't a duck.
Pigeon told you to come tile our roof.
Well, he had a letter.
Show me.
Give me 2 minutes to look through my bag. And can I use Beatrice to discreetly handle a pen and write a letter?
Yes.
Can you use
and,
bees to write a letter?
Yes.
And I'm just going to take out my little letter opener here as well, just to help you open the letter. And Stu will take out the big fucking sword.
That's a 10 for bee literacy. Can I add literacy to that?
For bee literacy.
Can I add literacy to that?
Sure.
Then it's 11.
Describe to me what exactly you're doing.
So I'm going to turn around and like pretend to look through my pockets. But what I'm really going to be doing is just holding a piece of paper while Beatrice, my swarm of bees, writes a letter saying there's a leak in the roof. Come fix it, please. Signed, the bees.
Okay, let us see what signed the bees does. The crow hag takes it off you, twitches her head slightly and goes, "Ah, what does it say?"
It says, there's a hole in the roof, please fix it. Signed, the bees.
Who are the bees?
I don't know, I figured it was like an initial, like maybe it's like the Buxtons or something.
The king has not arrived home. He did not have a bee.
Might have been like the builders. B for builders, because I'm a builder.
So what you're saying is builders sent for a builder.
Well, I specialise in roofing, so maybe they weren't very good at roof.
There is a roof there you can fix first. She points at a dilapidated shed with a roof that's collapsing.
Okay, you got some tiles. I was told there'd be tiles.
I'm sure you can use your initiative.
Okay. Let's
Can
hope
I roll feng shui to try and repair the building?
Sure. You poke around the building and you push one bit, the building collapses with you inside it.
Load bearing wall, that was.
You have flattened our home.
It was too broken, I was just going to start again from scratch.
See
While
that you
they're all
do.
busy, while they're all busy distracting these bird creatures, I'm planning on sneaking off the way we want to go.
Okay.
Yeah, Stu is going to try to follow.
I'll admit this plan got away from me.
I think Kirsty's just standing there strangely wondering what the fuck's going on.
Yeah, Stu will just whisper to Kirst before she
So-
leaves, like,
While Barry
care of
rebuilds
Barry.
a shed, I'll assume the rest of you are moving on. So
Yes.
you climb up this sort of slight hill, and you see a sort of crumbling wall surrounding this house. And it's very much rusted ironwork and crumbling stone. And the wall itself, including the ironwork, must be about maybe 10 foot tall. But as you follow it along, you see there's an entrance through the wall, and that entrance seems to have collapsed. As you sort of poke your head through the opening in the wall, the iron gate seems to have collapsed, and it looks like it's had significant force put against it to collapse. To the left of this new opening, there is, it looks like a very old, abandoned guardhouse. What do you do?
Stu
I
is
think
just
we
gonna-
should check the guardhouse before we go inside that, in case there's anything
Yeah.
behind us.
Yeah.
How recent
idea.
does it look like this new hole is?
It looks like it's been at least a couple of hundred years since it's been lying there, like there's moss growing over it when it's on the ground.
Yeah, let's check the guardhouse first, just to see there's nothing there.
Okay. You walk into the guardhouse. There's basically a couple of abandoned tables and chairs. There's some very old rusted cutlery. And in the corner there seems to be like a slumped body, but it's like completely decayed all the way through. But there seems to be 3 arrows piercing it to the ground.
Should I do the honours and have a look through his pockets?
You go ahead, Kursk.
I'll
Okay.
search of the book.
You look through the pockets. You find a small silver hexagonal charm.
Is it like a ring or something that would hang as a necklace, or...
It's just like a small charm on a chain. It's something like people would hang from a belt. Maybe like an earring.
And he sort of jingles it up. Anyone know what that is, if it's anything worth money? Can I swap it for ice creams?
Well, maybe we should check if it's sort of magical or not, or if it's bad or not. Whispers, do you have any arcana knowledge or any kind, or do you, Kursk?
I've got a little bit.
I've got a little bit as well.
Yeah, I got none, so.
It's not magical. It just seems to be made of solid silver.
Not
Oh.
magical, but expensive. And he puts it in his pocket.
Alright.
Okay. As you walk out of the guardhouse and look around, you notice that the trees on either side of the guardhouse seem to be full of hundreds and hundreds of very large black birds that seem to be eyeing you up.
Okay. Is there far to the mansion to just get there, or is
And
it,
the mansion looks like it's up about another dirt road, maybe about another 30 odd meters, and to the left seems to be a kind of like a sort of fancy, almost like a pond in a way, surrounded by statues. But the statues also seem to have lots of weird like markings, and they seem to be missing pieces.
Can you sort of pattern to the pieces they're missing, or is it just random?
You walk up and have a look at the first statue. The statue seems to be of a naked figure. It seems to be missing one leg from the knee down, both arms at like the top of the arm, the head, and it seems any sort of exterior other bits have been removed. As in, there are marks on the chest and basically of the genitals that seem to have been removed, and on the chest itself seems to be several blood red hexagons inside each other. So it's like a massive hexagon, then a smaller hexagon, then a smaller hexagon, then a smaller hexagon.
Okay, and the next statue?
The same thing, really. This time, any sort of exterior items as well as sort of limbs. So you notice this statue used to be some sort of clothed figure, and basically anything that seems to basically differ from just a sort of torso and single leg seems to have been removed. And then the same sort of hexagon painted on the front.
Can Kirsch roll anything to see that these are statues and not people that have been turned to stone?
You can check, yes. They are definitely statues, but they have definitely been vandalised. As in, when you look at the stone looks like it was quite high quality stone, and moss has grown.
Taking a lot of effort to do what has happened.
Yeah, and it's just got like wanker spray painted on the side.
Wanker!
I wonder if that hexagon is a symbol of some sort of cult or something.
Probably
Is there a notch or anything that this charm that I found can slot into, or is it all just painted?
It looks like it's painted in very sort of dark crimson paint.
You sort of get the charm out and hold it in front of it and look at it again like, I think I'm getting a slightly bad feeling about this. Just put it back in my pocket.
I think these hexagons are all actually regular hexagons, and the charm is as well.
They seem to be regular hexagons, though the paint seems to have ran when it's painted on.
Right, there's technically any six-sided shape is a hexagon of some variety. Just wanted to clarify that they were actually the sort of the regular, meant to be the regular ones. They've been drawn.
Equilateral hexagons.
Yeah, that sort of thing.
So,
Is it blood rather than red paint?
You can use nature to examine if you want.
No.
You are assured it's paint. It must be paint. Lovely shade of crimson paint.
Is it still wet?
No. Long since dried, as in years and years and years ago.
Then if it's red, it's not blood anymore, because blood doesn't dry red.
no, dries brown. Maybe we should just head up to the mansion, guys. This seems really, really old and old and old, but just keep an eye on the blackbirds when we head up.
I think Kursk, when they're going ahead, he's going to keep looking at the statues to see if there's any different patterns on any of the ones that we pass.
Okay. As you pass several statues, the large black birds, bigger than crows, seem to all get quite agitated. And as you pass the pond, they seem to get like incredibly agitated, like all start like cawing at you.
Okay, so they obviously don't want us to go up there. And we probably want to go up there. This would be a good time to have a Aprimancer to help us take care of all those shitty big birds.
Why do we want to go up there? Because Mr. Igneous was a little bit shy on what we were actually doing. He just said he'd pay me to hit things.
Well, I think we're delivering some sort of gem to a dragon or something up there.
We're trying to get to the centre of the swamp.
Yeah, and I think you Whispers have the thing we're delivering there, right?
Yes.
Or is it me? I think it's you, right? Yeah.
I had it.
So we're probably gonna have to do a run for it, unless our friend Barry might now be finished with his roof tiling.
Let's see. Let's just cut back to Barry. So Barry, what have you done in the time that you've, in the style of most
I've made a cup of-
Barry, what have you been doing this morning?
I've made a cup of tea. I've put in planning permission. I'm waiting to hear back from the council. I need to make sure it's not like a historical site or something. I've put in the order for parts as well. I'm going to need a lot of materials to rebuild this shack that I ruined. I also didn't bring any tools with me.
At this point, the hags are sort of standing over you going, "What are you doing to our home?"
I'm waiting for planning permission.
Whose permission do you need?
The council's.
What is a council?
It's the group of people who tell us where I can build things.
Why do they care?
I don't know, they gotta do something, I guess.
I see. Well, how about we have our own council? Then you can build. Join our council.
I guess, but no, I don't really join the council, I just send them letters.
You write letters to the council?
Yeah, asking if I can build shacks in places.
You have the power to build, and yet
it's not...
you're a slave.
Everybody's gotta do a job, don't they?
I see. We will pay you 1 fish. And they bring out this tiny fish that they offer it to you, and they go, there. Now you will build.
I'm not really sure that's tradable, currency. I can't really go to the pub and get a pint for that, can I?
What is a pint?
Well, usually I go for Guinness.
I see.
But right now I've been enjoying the sticky toffee ale.
Thanks, Stiffy Toffee Ale.
Stiffy toffee. That's something different.
Yeah. So, we'll cut back to everyone else as Barry is having this long-winded discussion as to how to build things.
So are we going to run before those fucking big birds attack us, or what?
I'm thinking we're gonna have to make a run for it. I suggest that Whispers runs first, since she has the important item, and we'll just run a little bit after her to just take care of the birds in case they come.
Yeah.
Can everyone, apart from Barry, do me a awareness check, please?
Ooh, natural 20.
You notice in the pond that the water looks incredibly stagnant and smells just disgusting. But you notice that within the bottom of the pond seems to be all the removed heads and limbs and parts from all the statues. You also notice that all of the bits that have been removed seem to have been removed by sort of chipping away rather than being cleanly cut.
So, guys, I think that maybe it's the birds that have been chipping away on the statues. Perhaps.
Probably just keeping their beaks sharp and things like that. Nothing to worry about.
How many birds are there?
You sort of glance up at how many birds. It looks like there's about 40 or 50 in the first tree, and in the second tree there looks like just as many.
Where's Frankie when we need him? God damn it. Probably setting fire to himself again.
I wonder how the birds would react to that hexagon charm.
I can try, just sort of take it out and sort of slowly swing it about so they can see it.
You notice the bird's attention seems to be following the hexagon charm.
Right, you guys go. I'll keep their attention, and then once you're in the building, I'll slowly back up towards it.
Okay, just shout if you need help, and we'll try that.
Okay.
I think the hexagon is a good idea, since
So
it's
as
still
you
there.
slowly back away from Kursk as he's wielding this small sort of charm, as you get closer to the house, you realise that it's like the windows and doors to the house have been boarded up and then painted over to look like our normal doors. But the closer you get, the more it's obvious that there are many, many, many boards with nails and everything over the top of them. And
This
also on the
reminds
front
me
door
of,
seems to be a repeat of that hexagon motif.
What do you think, Whispers? Is the hexagon made to keep birds out?
It might be.
Yeah. So do you think we should bash in a window and go in through the window instead of bashing the door with a hexagon on it?
I definitely think a window is probably a better option. In the door.
Yeah.
Sorry, someone's pulling my hand away from the keyboard. Which makes push to talk kind of awkward.
Let's go in through a window then.
So what are you going to do? Are you going to hit the window with your hammer, or what are you going to do?
Yeah, of course.
Roll to see what happens when you hit the window with the hammer. You hear a loud crack, and immediately Kursk notices his attention's been lost, as all the birds seem to immediately switch their focus towards Stu.
Okay.
Kursk starts trying to whistle and like move the thing even more.
Okay, So did I break the window or the boards?
Nope. You hit it very soundly and you heard a crack, as in something broke, but there's no sign that it was the outer layer.
Okay.
But all the birds are now
So-
going crazy again, making noises. They'd kind of calmed down, but they're now back, like, going...
Yeah.
I think Kursk's
Maybe.
going to start slowly backing up towards the others as well.
Okay. At this point, we will cut back one more time to Barry B. Beasley. What have you been up to, Barry?
Well, I heard from the council, and the thing is, it's sort of on the edge of the National Trust land, so I have to apply for
National
special permissions.
What is trust?
The National Trust is it's a society that tries to maintain important historical and geographical locations. And so I have to get special permission to build, and I have to do it in such a way that keeps with the area.
At this point, the crow in front of you goes, "We will trade you one of our shinies. Build." And at this point, one of the Arakor returns with a tiny key, literally about the size of maybe your thumb.
I mean, that's okay, I ain't no cowboy, I want to keep getting work, I don't want to get a reputation as a guy who can't work because he broke the National Trust's rules, because they break your legs.
You will not build.
I mean,
this
I'll
point, you
build,
know
but it'll
it's her-
probably be waiting about a month to hear.
At this point, you notice her draw a very long scythe-like dagger from her belt. You will not build.
I mean, when you put it like that, I suppose I could. I'd have to
God.
move it a little further in than it was originally, but I suppose we could do it.
You will build our home, or we will cut you.
Can I still have the key?
They sort of look to each other and go, "Only if our nests are appropriate."
I mean, you haven't even given us a plan yet. I don't know what you want.
A plan? What is plan?
You know, like a blueprint or a floor plan.
Blueprint? We do not leave blueprints. And it just tilts its head at you, just looking so confused.
I'm just gonna start building something.
Okay, so we return to everyone else. This is like a fucking episode of Changing Rooms now.
So, guys, or at least whispers, do you think we should sort of try to pry the door? So just some boards of the door open to sneak through?
We could
Agitate
try and
the
pry the
birds.
boards off the window.
Yeah.
I can reach up, try and do that, because I think we've lost the attention of the birdies with my wee charm.
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking maybe that if we do try to pry the door open with a mark on it, the mark will still be there and they won't be as agitated by that, just since it's got the mark on it.
I think turn to them and just say, has anyone seen if that's magical or anything? I don't want it blowing up in my face.
It just seems to be a ward for warding off the birds, and I don't want to sabotage the mark itself, but maybe if we could just pry the boards, one board under, we could crawl in under the mark and the birds won't be able to follow us.
Okay, well, try and pry one of the boards open at the bottom of the door.
So you put your something against it and you pull. The board, like, boings off, flying with several nails, and reveals another board underneath it.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Just goes and tries to do the same thing with it.
Okay. Do another strength check. Yep, you rip that board off, and immediately, like, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of, like, very thick black birds pour forth from the hole you've just created.
Oh, shit. I think it was the opposite way round. It was keeping them in.
Yep, must be that, yeah. Well, just let them fly out and we'll go in after they're finished. Hopefully.
Stand back. Does it abate after any time, or is it just...
No, it's
continue
literally just
forward?
keep pouring crows and crows, and like, for at least, like, 2 or 3 minutes solidly, all these hundreds and hundreds of crows seem to be flying out. Crows that are in the trees seem to fly up and join them, and this, like, huge black mass of crows is almost blocking out the sky.
Ooh. Maybe the crows aren't that bad. Maybe we're just looking out for their friends. and their friends been trapped inside, so we actually did them a service.
I'm now more worried about getting inside before they all start shitting. You just start looking up at the hundreds and hundreds of birds above them.
What's got me more concerned is that how old these markings and stuff were. These have been boarded up for a while. How have those crows survived inside? Those are not normal crows.
No, and they're actually not crows, even though the DM keeps referring to them as that.
They're basically larger
call
than
them crows because Crabane is copyrighted.
Well, let's just crawl inside and see what's inside.
So you crawl inside as yet again we return to Barry B. Beasley. Barry, what have you built?
Just call him Triple B.
Yep.
That's his new gangster name.
So
it's
in
B
the
cubed,
kitchen,
I'll have you know.
So in the kitchen, I've knocked down the central wall to open it up into the living room, and also I've put like a little half bar so you can entertain guests over breakfast. In the bedroom, I've put some nice plants, you know, it makes it feel a bit more homely, a bit more like nature. That's about it, really. I've only had like 2 hours. I feel like that's quite a lot to have done.
What is breakfast?
It's the meal you eat in the morning.
See?
Like bacon and eggs.
Eggs? You eat eggs?
I don't, but some
Immediately it
people
starts
do.
drawing the scythe blade again.
I don't, but some people do, like snakes.
Who eat eggs?
Snakes. Some types of snakes eat eggs.
Eggs? Where are snakes? We got snakes.
Snakes they stay in the grass usually.
You will take us to this grass. We will kill the snake.
Can I just look for a patch of grass then that I think would have a snake in it, and I guess use animal handling to guess where a snake would be?
Sure.
That was the wrong thing.
That was okay.
I was looking at what my animal handling was. It turns out it's just 2.
So you take this 2 or 3 Arakoa who are armed with these, like, scythe blades to the closest patch of grass you could see, which is at the foot of the stone wall, and you tell them that there's definitely snakes here. The Arakoa sort of slice away at this grass with these huge scything blades till it's, like, barely anything there, and then they go, "Did we get the snake?"
Are there any worms in the soil that they just sliced up?
Fine, you slice a worm in half. What do you do now?
There, look, you got one. You got a baby one.
A baby? What is baby?
Like juvenile, like young ones.
Ah, youngling.
That's why it's so small.
Maybe the mother will return.
Maybe you should keep watch here while I work on that shack.
We will guard here. Return to your duties, builder.
Okay.
So, as we cut away yet again from Barry B. Beasley, we get back to the rest of you who have, like, shuffled your way under this massive door. It basically reveals what looks like a very old abandoned house, and the sort of vestibule area, which is where you are now. In the middle of it seems to have a couple of pews. It looks like it used to be like an old church, at least this part of it anyway. And in the middle, where there's an altar, the altar looks covered in this thick, like, dark covered liquid, and in front of it seems to be, like, very cold looking ashes.
I think that's where all those birds have been shiting.
Yeah, might be. Is there a proper statue here that looks like it might want a necklace around its neck?
No, nothing in this room. The room itself has a collapsed stairs leading to the back. It's a massive house, so it's literally like this room is huge, and already you can see that above the collapsed stairwell there looks like there was a couple more rooms along the sort of top.
I think Kirst's going to go over to the ashes and sort of poke around in them to see if there's anything left of what was burnt.
Okay, let's see, what do you find when you poke around the ashes? You find several scraps of paper, You find a couple of charred bones. You find 2 small silver hexagon charms like the ones you have. And you find, it's like a small metal box that seems to have like been welded shut with the heat.
I think first I'll hand the thing, just in case these are protection, and give one of the hexagon charms to Whispers and Stu. And
Thank you
is
kindly.
there any writing that can be deciphered on the wee bits of paper, or it just be charred corners?
It's just sort of symbols and handwriting, but it's so charred you can't read it.
And then I think the box, can he just try and force it open with his strength?
Mm-hmm. It's welded completely shut, but you do begin to like peel it back. As you begin to like peel the box back, a strange, very viscous red liquid pours from the corner of the box onto your leg and down your leg.
I think immediately put the box down to stop any more and try and wipe it off. See if there's any furniture or anything with a bit of upholstery left on it to try and wipe it off.
Oh yeah, could use a
Nothing you
bone.
can see, no.
You could use one of the charred bones to wipe it off if you want to, Kursk.
Good idea. We'll do that. Just sort of use it almost like a sort of a window wiper just to try and skim it off.
Okay. So you try and skim the sort of dried red liquid off your leg. So when you put the box down, the box still oozes this red goop everywhere, and you notice that there seems to be other things within the box.
He just sort of tries to get everyone's attention. He's sort of stepping back a wee bit and just sort of pointing at the weird box with the stuff oozing out of it.
Oh,
I maybe made a mistake opening this.
okay.
Doesn't
Yeah.
look good.
Maybe we should like quickly search through the other rooms and see if we can place the necklace anywhere. And that's the way. That's now like when we cue the Benny Hill music and we run around really fast around the house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Kursk is too fascinated with the box, so I think he's going to continue trying to open it properly and get a proper look at what's inside it.
You finally open the box. Inside, surrounded by very thickly coagulated blood and stinks of blood. As you sort of shake the box and sort of pour the contents out, you find several teeth of varying sizes, and you find several very thick black feathers.
Oh, this seems good.
Is there anything I could like nature check to roll if I recognise any of the teeth as to what they've come from? Like whether they're human teeth or crocodile teeth.
You can
or...
roll, yeah.
If I got...
They seem to be humanoid, they seem to be canine teeth, and they seem to be from at least 3 different people.
I just tell that to the others. It's the teeth of 3 different people.
And canine teeth as well. Maybe then might be a werewolf of some kind, or just, there was some feathers
Humans
as
have
well.
canine teeth.
Oh yeah.
Not real proper pointy bones, but they still
Sort
have
of-
canine teeth.
Yeah.
Poke one of the feathers with the bone and go, do you get weird ravens or anything? Maybe that's what those fucking huge birdies are.
It might be Arakoa, yeah.
Maybe was it 3 Arakoa we've been seeing? Maybe this is part of a charm that turned people into those 3 Arakoa.
Might be.
When whatever happened to curse this place happened.
Yes.
Mm.
Maybe that's the curse we're here to lift with that necklace.
At this point, hopefully for the final time, but we never know, we'll cut back to Barry BB's place.
So, I want to have on the roof, using tiles, created signage that communicates, help, these people are crazy, they mean to kill me, send help, but in like a very succinct way because it is on a roof made with like roofing tiles,
Right.
and hope that someone sees it.
Okay, so cutting back from Barry. Just the fuck.
It's the darkest episode of Ground Force ever.
Anyway, so we got back to the rest of you. Are you wanting to explore the upstairs?
Yeah,
Yes.
Do we not want to do the rest of the ground floor first, then move upstairs?
Most of the interior seems to be this one room.
Right.
The back
okay.
of the room seems to go up this, well, a very like collapsed stairwell. So you basically got like about a 3-4 meter high jump from where you are to the sort of platform above, and it's the platform above that has like all the other rooms. It seems this downstairs seems to mostly just be this chapel with As you sort of look around, you find a font, and as you look into the font, it seems to contain a very waterlogged book, which, as you sort of like fish out of the water and flick through it, it's so waterlogged that all the text is ran, but it does seem to be some kind of prayer book.
Okay, so let's try to get upstairs.
One of us try and get up there and tie the rope up so it's easier for the others.
And I'll try and climb up.
Yeah, or you can just stand on my shoulders. I'm really, really tall, so you could just sort of climb up from there.
Yeah, sounds good.
So as you sort of human pyramid yourself to get to the next tier, are you helping each other up once you're there, or is one of you just going up and that's it, or what?
And we're helping each other up, I take it.
Yeah, I think we follow.
Yep.
Okay. So you all eventually help each other up to the top, and as you look out the window, I have to put it because it's the only way we're going to get out of this. You see Barry Beesbury on the roof at the bottom of the hill with this roof tile that says, "Help, I is stuck. They want to kill me."
Okay. We're not going to try to send him a message right now. Probably later.
Fair enough, then.
Yeah.
Should we not go and get him?
Back out through all those birds.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
right.
know. You were just gonna have to hope that when we actually deliver this necklace to where we're supposed to deliver it, it will probably get rid of the birds and the Arakoa and everything else. That's our
Or,
only option, I think.
the other Igneous and Frankie might turn up and help him.
Yeah, we don't know where they are, so.
Don't you mean Keith?
Fair enough.
Igneous?
Keith and Igneous, yes.
Yeah, Keith, yeah.
Oh, it's good old Keith. Here to save us from the bird.
Keith comes to save
And
Barry.
immediately explode your head with a fireball.
Keith saves Barry, yeah.
So, there are two big doors up here. What are you going to do? Are you going to look through one room then the other, or are you going to go into one room? What are you going to do?
Check around
Look into
outside
both the rooms.
rooms first and then go in the first one.
Okay. So you look in the two room first, did you say, and then going in the first one?
Look around on the landing bit that we're on currently first.
Okay. So you
And
look
then
in the landing
pick a
you're on.
room.
There are 2 or 3 oddly well looked after potted plants.
Ooh.
That looks like the interior design stylings of Barry B. Beardsley.
Yes, it does, actually. Maybe he's been here in another life before we came here. We never know.
So,
Yeah.
flip a coin for left or right room first.
So the first door is the sort of standard double wooden door. The second one is got a bit more grandeur to it.
So
Fancy
how
or
about-
ordinary then.
Yeah, let's go with ordinary first, just because that is sort of way backwards.
You push the door doesn't move. What do you do?
Move to the next door.
Try pulling the door.
I'll try and pull the door.
Yep, pull the door, doesn't open.
Kursk learned this before in the dungeons.
Good, good.
Should we try the next door perhaps before we try the locked one? Just for, being a little bit original.
Is
After
it not
you,
moving
Stu.
because it's? Is it not moving because it's locked or because it's stuck?
We don't really know, but before we
It's
go
pretty
breaking
solid
down
when you try
anywhere,
and put your shoulder to it.
is there a really, really, really small lock on it?
Nope.
Okay.
There's no external
Stu-
lock on this door.
Stu is just gonna go over to the other door and check it out and see if that one opens.
Okay. Again, you try pushing it, you try pulling it, and you put your shoulder to it. Doesn't move. This one has slightly more give, but it seems to be just as well held as the last door.
Okay. Stu is gonna try to hold up his nice little thingy to the door, the charm, and see
Okay.
if that does anything.
It doesn't do anything.
Of course it doesn't. Stu is going to try to take one of the plants and hold it up to the door.
Okay. You pick up the plant, the first one anyway, and you find a small silver key.
Ooh. Look guys, I found a silver key here. Check the other plants, please.
Should have thought of that. It's exactly where my mum keeps the spare key if I ever get caught out. Check the other 2 plant pots.
Yep. You lift the other 2 plant pots. Under one, there is another small hexagonal charm on a chain, and under the other one, there seems to be... It's like a sort of small scrap of paper, and as you sort of look it over in your hand, you try to read the handwriting. It seems like, sort of like doctor's script.
Mm.
It seems that kind of thing. You can't tell if it's a magic word, if it's a symbol, or if it's some kind of clue.
What does it look like?
It looks basically kind of like a scribble.
Okay. Is there a lock on the big shiny door?
The big door, yes.
I'll try the silver key in that one then.
The silver key is far too small for that lock.
Okay.
There's no lock on the other door at all.
The little door, no.
So
Have we seen anything else that might be a lock of the right size while we've been here?
You sort of look around the corridor you're in. There's a couple of paintings on the wall that you're surprised they haven't been stolen.
What's
Put it that way.
behind them?
What's behind the paintings?
You pick up one of the paintings and it reveals a small vent. It looks like it's made for someone relatively small to fit through.
And the other paintings?
The other paintings, just you take them off the wall, they just reveal a sort of yellowing, peeling wallpaper.
I think
Which
Kirst's
way
sort
does
of
this vent
measuring
go?
the vent with his hands and then sort of measuring the size of Whispers and like, do you think you'd fit in there?
My thoughts exactly.
Maybe. Not sure. Which way does it go?
It's basically about above where the top of the door would be, and seems to go straight back into the gloom.
So it would go basically into the room the door goes into.
The grander door.
Or into the ceiling above the door.
Mm-hmm.
The grander door, you say?
Yeah.
Yep.
Is it big enough that I could fit through it?
It's just big enough that you could fit through it. It'd be a very tight squeeze, but you could.
Yeah.
I guess that's what we're going to have to try then.
Yeah, do it. Let us know if you want us to push you.
Or do you want us to tie a rope round you in case we need to haul you out?
That could probably be a good idea. And I'll leave my bag here and things like that as well. But I will keep the necklace.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the hexagon charm.
Okay. So you sort of squid your way into the vent, and at this point we probably do have to cut back to what is going on with B Cubed. So, B Cubed, what's going on?
I want to build crenellations on the roof so that I can defend myself and make it a defensible position.
So you're going to be a defendable position on top of the roof.
I'm going to build a little fort on the roof. With tiny catapults.
So while Barry continues to build his fort,
Tiny catapults.
we cut back to Whispers. You crawl through the vent. It's a very tight squeeze, but you come to the other end of the air vent, which seems to lead into this massive bedchamber. And as you shove the vent out of the way and climb out of the vent itself, you're now standing in this, what looks like a sort of king's bedroom. It seems immaculate, like it hasn't been opened in a very long time. It smells incredibly dusty. And you notice against the door itself seems to not only be like a bar, like nailed across it, but it seems to have like several bits of furniture pushed behind it as well.
Does it look like I can actually sort of clear the door in order to get it open?
Probably could, yes.
Then I shall start trying to carefully do that.
Okay. Over the course of the next 10 minutes, you move all the furniture and begin to like rip the bar off from behind the door, and eventually it comes free and you can open the door to everyone else.
Oh, hello there, Whispers. Good job. So what do we see in this room?
So this room has a gigantic bed. We're talking like a sort of one of those massive, like not queen size, but even bigger, 4-poster
King
bed.
size.
Is queen size not bigger than king size for beds?
No, king size is the biggest.
Alright, well,
Yeah.
whichever one's the biggest for bed size, this is gigantic bed. And with like 4 posters all around it. And
Down with the furniture-based patriarchy.
Yes.
Thanks, Barry. And you see that of the 4 posters, there seems to have this sort of drapes between each that seem to be very, very, very thick with dust. There seems to be jewellery and proper like valuables and everything stacked up in here. It's as if someone's put all the valuables in, then managed to leave somehow.
Okay. Is the bed empty or is
Bed's
there
empty,
the
yeah.
drapes drawn? The bed's empty, yeah.
The bed's empty.
Is there any door leading to the door, like the room next to the one with the other one-shot door?
You look around, there's a lot of shit on the walls. You could probably look under that and see if anything interesting's there.
Let's do that.
Sounds like a plan.
Whilst they're doing that, I think Kirst's just stuffing his pockets full of jewels.
So yes, there's like basically like a lot of like, it looks like kind of costume jewelry, but actually made of like valuables. There's like everything from like a mirror and hand mirrors and goblets and so on are all in here. As you take the stuff off the walls, you find there's another sort of small... It looks like a sort of servant passage that is like, again, it's kind of like a vent again, the same kind of size into the other room.
So, Whispers, you want to do the honors once more?
Yeah, guess it's gonna have to.
Okay.
Cool.
You squeeze through the tiny gap and you come into the room. This other room has very much been barricaded, as in the door to this room has been barricaded over and over and over again. Like, any more boards that could fit over the top of the door have been done. And the only thing in this room seems to be a small chest in the middle of the room, and on the wall seems to be written in a very, like, almost brown-black style scroll, "Don't let the birds in."
Does this chest have a keyhole that's about the same size as that silver key?
Yes.
How big is the chest?
It's about maybe half a meter wide by, maybe just say half a meter square, effectively. That's a
Would it
rounded
fit
lid.
through the vent?
No, it will not fit through the vent.
That's a shame.
So, how like deep is the vent? Could I just stretch out
The
my hand
vent
and give the
is
key to
probably
Whispers?
about, it's probably about half a meter wide, but it's only about maybe 40 centimeters tall. So
Yeah.
it's just not tall enough for the chest to fit through.
I'm just thinking that by now Whisper has communicated that there's a good lock here for the key that I have, so I will just reach out through the vent and give her the key.
Okay.
Check the chest for traps before I unlock it.
Okay. How are you exactly going to check it for traps? Are you going to just sort of look it over, run your finger over it, pick it up and shake it? What are you going to do?
Not so much picking up and shake it, but generally sort of not run bare fingers around it in case there's poison needles and things, but sort of carefully check it over and be sort of all dungeoneering-y about it.
Okay. Roll. You check the chest over. There's nothing there that would be immediately dangerous.
Sounds
That was such an
ominous.
ominous way of putting it.
It's not immediately dangerous, but 12 years down the line.
Dihydromonoxide can kill Belry in solid form.
Wait, I was thinking more like it would give you late onset lupus or something.
Oh god.
or asbestosis. Oh god, whatever that fucking word is. Asbestosis.
So what are you going to do?
I'm going to carefully unlock the chest. And then when I lift the lid, I'm going to make sure I'm not standing in the way of anything that might shoot out from the lid opening.
Okay.
Roll for lupus.
It's never lupus. Well, it was once in house, but let's not get to that.
Yeah, exactly.
So you open the chest. Are you going to like flip it open, or are you going to open it very slowly?
I do it slowly and away from me to start with. And then I'll have a
Okay.
look once the lid's open.
You open it, and as you open it, you hear the sort of tinkling sound of a music box. Are you going to look at what's inside, or are you...
Once the lid is open, I will look at what's inside.
Okay. You open it fully, and then once you open it fully, everyone around you, well, it's basically everyone apart from Barry, hears the sound, the sort of tinkling sound of a music box. And as you turn it to face you, you see it's basically like a sort of like the girl you saw that was the dragon, and she seems to have this sort of dancing pose with what looks like a man slightly taller than her with a beard, and they seem to be like spinning on the spot. And as they spin on the spot, it seems to, off to the side, like right on the edge of her cloak, seems to sit 3 ravens along the edge of it. Like the sort of tail of her dress kind of thing. Seem to sit 3 ravens.
So what are you seeing inside Whispers?
There's a box. She's playing music. And inside it, you've got what looks like the dragon lady dancing with a fairly handsome looking chap, I think, the way humans judge appearance. She's got 3 ravens on her dress.
At this point,
Yeah.
the window behind you starts battering with these ravens that seem to be like cawing, profusely trying to break through the window.
Maybe you should try putting the necklace in the chest on the dancing couple or something. See if anything happens.
Give it a go.
Okay. Are you just putting the necklace on the girl, or what are you doing?
How tall is the figure?
It's not very tall, it's maybe about 7 inches tall.
Would the necklace sort of be too heavy and break it? Or does it look like it would actually be...
The necklace seems
Right,
too
okay,
big
on
for
that.
this. But the more the music's going on, the more the crows are going into frenzy outside the windows.
I'll try shutting the box quickly to see if that makes the ravens stop.
Okay. As you close the box, the Ravens continue for the next couple of minutes, just like crazily like battering against the window. They seem to calm down a little bit, but they're determined to get through now. The window behind Stu and Kursk, again, they're just battering into that as well, and almost like covering the entire window and like blocking out the light.
We seriously need some kind of king thingy to put the necklace on somewhere. Since we got the necklace from the dragon girl, we might need to find the king. Is it possible that the king is the one in the ash pile downstairs?
I don't know. I mean, that's where we got the bones and things like that, but...
What else was there in the box other than just the two figures of the dancing couple? Was there sort of space in it for storing other things?
It seems like when you close the lid, the model sort of moves down inside the box, but it doesn't seem to be anything. It seems like the entire space seems to be taken up just enough that the couple can spin round with the sort of the tail with the ravens on it.
Okay, just working out what sort of music box it was, because I used to have one as a kid with a little ballerina on it, but I had a sort of space for storing jewellery as well.
I think Kursk just sort of shouts through the vent. Are there any secret compartments or anything underneath it?
Can I find any?
Roll awareness. You gently tap along the bottom side of it. At this point the crows are going mental and you hear the glass begin to crack, but you feel that there's a hollow section.
Does that feel like it might be the right size for the necklace?
It feels like it's a section for something, because it definitely doesn't sound as solid as the rest of it. But at this point the glass is beginning to crack. The birds are beginning to peck through the glass.
I think you might want to sort of perhaps get the door open.
Or come back through here and I'll sort of pick up one of the big paintings or maybe a couple of them and try and reinforce the window on our side by just holding up the paintings in front of the window.
I can't get the chest, you guys. So what I want to try and do is actually sort this out. So I'm going to try and see if I can get that hollow section open.
Okay.
Yeah.
Roll to see how you get on. You run your fingers over it and you're not sure where you're best to find it, and then eventually one of your fingers feels that there is indeed a sort of section here that you can remove, but you can't work out how to open it.
I'll try and find a groove to dig my claws into.
Yeah. The birds smash the window. You are covered with broken glass, and as you kind of like cower downwards to stop the birds, like basically like pecking your eyes out, all like hundreds and hundreds of these like gigantic birds are just like swarming through the room, flying around where you are. They begin flying through the gap into where Stu and Kursk are as well.
Can we try dangling our charms against them? See if they react to them?
Okay, roll and see what happens. Okay, you hold it out, one of them snatches it from you, and then 3 or 4 of them begin to fight over it.
That's quite interesting.
Yes, I think maybe Kursk, we need to like really run quickly through the other door and try to bash it down with all our might to get this really
Okay,
help.
Right behind you. You take the left, I'll take the right. Aim for the hinges.
Yep.
Okay.
Start hammering.
Okay, the 2 of you roll.
Yeah.
See how you get on. Kursk doesn't seem to get anywhere. Stu doesn't seem to get anywhere. Whispers, can you do me a roll please to see how you get on? See if you can keep yourself from being pecked. Yep. For this turn, you're free of crow damage, effectively. So back to Kursk and
Birdies! 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 Leap, pounce! Birdies! Birds!
Sorry,
it's a cat, okay?
So Stu and Kursk smash through the door. The door does give, but it's still just holding on, as in one more large smash to get through it. So Whispers, do me a roll, see how you cope being surrounded by birdies again. Yep, you seem to keep your eyes covered from them, they don't get anywhere near you. So it's Kursk and Stu one more time. Kursk rolls through his side. Stu's side doesn't give this turn, but Kursk is now like rolled through and is now in a room full of these like thick black ravens.
Was there a large painting on the wall in here as well?
Nope, this room seems to have been completely cleared. The only thing on the wall was the scrawling about keep the birds in.
Should be one outside the door, just outside the door though.
Sorry,
yeah, I think
don't
I'd
let
do
the birds
that.
in.
I'll run back and try and block the window in here so at least no more birds get in.
There are literally hundreds and hundreds of birds in here at the moment.
Maybe start swiping the birds with a painting, Kursk.
Okay, I just use a massive flat swat.
Yeah.
Okay, so you get on
Okay.
swatting the birds with this. Yep, you swat. Let's see how the birds react to you doing this. Yep, you managed to kill several birds first swing.
Nice.
Okay, it's now whispers.
Looks like this painting is super effective against birds.
Can I drag the chest towards the half of the door that's now open while spitting out feathers?
Yep. So are you dragging it out the door that Kursk has now made?
Yes.
Okay.
Get out the room so we can then block the hole
Drag it out
again.
of the room. The entire of the house is beginning to fill with these birds.
Oh, fuck.
Whispers, just try to get the compartment open and get the necklace in there instead.
That was my plan
Well-
once I got out of the other bird-filled room.
Yeah, we'll try to swat as many birds as we can. Just,
Okay, is Stu running in to try and swat the birds away as well?
of course.
Okay, roll. You basically pick up the nearest item you can find and swing for the birds. The birds in turn, you just managed to kill a couple of birds. The more you kill though, and you send some flying to the ground with like snapped necks and broken beaks, the more just seem to keep appearing. It's like they're sort of flying, and as they get into the middle room, they begin to like start circling.
Where's the Aprimancer when we need him?
He's currently building a fort on top of the hut outside.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep trying to get this compartment open.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep swinging with the painting.
Okay, let's do Kursk first. So Kursk, swing with your painting. Yeah, you definitely get a couple of them. Definitely knock a couple of birds at the sky. As I said, more are just flying through from where you are to the main room now and just continuing to circle more and more. It's becoming like a sort of almost tornado of these crows just circling bigger and bigger around the sort of middle of this house.
Where the altar is?
Yep. It's
Okay.
now whispers.
I'm gonna try and see if I can get this compartment open.
Okay, roll. You scramble at it, you claw at it, but you can't seem to work out what releases the mechanism. It's how Stu.
Yeah, I want to help her with the compartment thingy as well.
Would tinkering help?
Yes,
I do
tinkering
have a
would help.
level of tinkering.
Would
So it's
dungeoneering help?
No, it's very much it's kind of like a puzzle box.
Alright, well, I'll try to help her without any tinkering skills then.
Basically, you sort of thub at it while trying to stop your eyes being pecked out by birds. The birds are doing fuck all this week. The birds don't do anything to you as you try to like fumble your way. Again, you can feel where the groove is, but you can't work out how to get it out.
I think at this point, Kursk sort of says, "Do you want my help as well, or will I just continue killing these things?"
Just keep the birds off us.
Okay. God, my rolls are getting worse.
So you don't at the moment. Let's see what the birds do. The birds actually hit you for once. Thank fuck for that. Birds, 13. Right arm. Now the birds just sort of give you a couple of small blood injuries on your arm. Nothing more than that. So
Okay.
it's now whispers. So you add your tinkering.
My rolls suck.
Once again, you can find roughly where the hatch is meant to come out, but you just can't get it.
And Stu is gonna continue helping her.
Yep, Stu just goes fuck it and twats it with his hammer. The hatch sort of falls open and a small keyring with three small, there's like one silver, one gold and one bronze key, and they've all got small like engravings on them, drops out.
Oh fuck.
How small are they?
They look like they're for a padlock, for a clock.
Are there any padlocks in the music box on the statues there?
You sort of look at the music box, there is one for winding it up.
Would any of these keys fit that?
The bronze one would, yes.
So let's wind it up again.
Yes.
You begin winding it. Let's see what happens when you wind the box. You wind the box. Are you like holding the box? Are you like, holding the box in your arms, or is it flat on the surface in front of you?
We're
Probably
holding it
holding
still flat on the surface as well.
Okay.
Or
As you wind it
Do we
up,
want to hold it?
eventually you feel the mechanism stop winding, and you feel like you're moving something else. And as you continue going, a small panel rolls out the bottom to the side, revealing another small brass key.
holy shit. Oh yeah.
At this point, the birds do nothing. Fucking birds are useless.
Thankfully, yeah. Whose side are you on anyway?
The side of the birds.
Yeah, apparently.
Did anyone have a good look at the altar downstairs? Was there any keyholes or anything down there?
There's nothing on the altar itself, no. But
No.
Is there anything else around the altar?
Everyone roll me awareness, please.
Blind as a bat.
If you all roll 8, I'll give you... You notice that at the foot of the stairs, under a lot of rubble, against one of the walls, seems to be an old clock. It looks like looks the same kind of style as this key.
Okay, guys, let's head to the clock. Quickly.
Yeah. I'll just sort of try and go in front of
Box
them,
with us there.
wiping birds as we go.
Yeah, take the box with us. Just
First,
first.
swiping birds. The birds attacking cursed. Natural 20.
Oh.
That's
Shit.
an injury. What do the birds get? 9.
It probably is cock the way it's been going.
It's the left leg.
I don't have a left leg.
Then it's your cock. Thanks, Barry. 8. The birds peck at your genitals,
Bleeding.
leaving very large, blood wounds all over them.
Oh, you fucker!
Yeah, that sounds unpleasant.
Sounds worse than having it plucked
hanging out
off.
there.
Yep. So you get downstairs. Can anyone with tinkering please roll me for this clock? Whispers puts the key in the clock, turns the clock immediately. A small door opens to your left. It's about half height, so it's about the size of a sort of lower, stable door. It's just popped open, so you can push it open and go through if you want.
Yes, please.
Yes.
And let's close it
Anything to
quickly
get away
behind
from
us.
The three of
Yeah,
you run
absolutely. Out
through,
of the
slam
birds.
the door behind you, and as you sort of finally get a sort of peace to breathe and think again, because everything's gone quiet, you hear the sound of the birds angrily spinning outside, and in the distance the sound of Barry going, "I just want him a fought."
I'm not gonna lie, I am genuinely toying with the idea of writing him off by just having him live out the rest of his days on his roof fort.
Has Barry just been lost to his fort?
Yeah, with his little catapults.
Whispers is sort of
Yeah.
looking around with bird feathers all over her. Kursk is nursing his very bloody genitals.
Whispers are probably spitting out bird feathers.
Yep.
Just don't ask where the birds
Had a wee-
went.
Had a wee snack in the middle.
It seems time has run out for this week at least. Join us again next week for more of this tale. These bard's tales were originally told to us around a campfire in a long forgotten land as Descent Journeys Through the Dark. They were adapted for this podcast by Nikolai Popsky. All music was written and performed by Daniel Boström. The cast of Plummet are Nikolai, Daniel, Bellery, Amy, AJ, John, Squid, and Ash, with additional content by Dragon. If you would like your own high fantasy dice, then journey to dndice.co.uk and use our name Penance RPG at the checkout for a 5% discount of your order. For what is a hero without shiny loot? As for us, we are but meager bards. If you would care to support our tales, you can buy us a grog or two, or Ko-Fi, as it is known in your parts, at ko-fi.com/penancerpg. If you would like to support us in future efforts, we have a Patreon at patreon.com/penancerpg. Farewell and good night, dear listeners, and remember that time will turn again soon. It's only a game, isn't it?
And Bellery?
Hello, it's me, Bellery. I am playing the intermittently brummy Barry B. Beesbury. And yes, I'm using the same intro because I liked it quite a lot last time.
You do know
I also have a
leave you
kebab.
saying that in now.
I do. I also have a kebab and some sticky toffee ale, and I mean, that seems pretty brummy, so it's just RP. As for rainbow locations, I suppose anywhere where there is a sufficient degree of precipitation in the air, where the liquid, the water even, in the air can act as a prism to split the light, thereby forming the rainbow.
Do you mean a
And
car
according
wash?
to the well, a car wash would work, but also I wouldn't want to go in there without a car, so it's a bit situational. Ireland, according to the internet, has a lot of them, because it's rainy as fuck there.
Ireland.
Although that begs the question, why don't I see more rainbows, because it's rainy as fuck here too.
So your favourite place to find a rainbow is Ireland.
Yes, even though I've never been. But I'd like to go, because I like Guinness, and also Thin Lizzy.
Well, anyway.
Although, not to suck up, but I do think the Scottish do better whiskey.
Yes, we do.
I agree.
So,
For real though, like the sticky toffee beer, it actually tastes like admittedly slightly burnt sticky toffee pudding. Like, imagine if you made a sticky toffee with cinder toffee and also ale. That's what it tastes like.
so you're saying you got
Sounds
sticky
good.
toffee and dropped it in your beer?
No, because I only just recently took the lid off, and the aperture isn't large enough to fit a sticky toffee in.
I was meaning the taste, Barry.
Ah, I suppose so. Although I was thinking more if you used ale in the making of the sticky toffee pudding batter.
Batter.
Yeah, like a cake batter.
So you're pouring cake batter into beer.
No, pouring beer into cake batter.
Is there actually a difference?
Yes, because it implies volume. So if you're pouring something into the other, it implies that the former is of a smaller volume to the latter.
And on
Right.
that note,
No, like legit, no. No. Don't no, because like yeah, like if you said you're pouring something into something else, it means like you pour a small amount of something into a bigger amount of something. Yeah. Or else you'd be pouring it into it. You'd be like pouring it over it or something like that.
Drizzling.
Yeah, like I know that you're probably making faces like this is just me being weird again, but it's not. It's a legitimate thing, and you guys are wrong.
Yes,
I'll be honest with you, Bellary.
Bellary
I'm
for
nodding
Ambassador
along with you.
2019.
I'm nodding along with you in silent agreement.
Why then being more vocal, God?
I'm shy.
Bellary for Ambassador 2019.
So why are you
kebab
drinking
meat.
sticky toffee ale with a kebab?
No, it's not a kebab, it's kebab meat. And it's because my brother got us a bunch of ales for my birthday, and this is just one of them.
Yeah, but does sticky toffee pudding go with kebab meat?
Apparently.
Ah,
There's also a banana bread one, but I don't really like bananas, so I'm probably not going to drink
banana bread ale's never really good.
I just don't
The
like
real
bananas.
question is,
They're too mushy. Although now that I say that, I don't know if that would be a problem in an ale because it's liquid.
the real question is, what sort of kebab meat do you mean?
That is true.
Like the ones that come in the tray from Anik Flame.
Is it lamb?
So, shish kebab?
Probably. Oh, no, like kebab meat, like off
Doner
on the,
kebab.
like doner, that's the word.
Yeah.
Right.
That kind.
So doner kebab meat and sticky toffee pudding.
Well, yeah, because I was like, a Palmo's probably not going to fill this up, I'll get some kebab meat. Because I couldn't just get like some chicken wings or something like that, like a normal place. But, nah. It's a very proteinous meal.
It sounds it.
I feel like we may have got sidetracked a little bit, I'll be honest.
But every time I'm about to move on, you keep adding to it, so I'm just letting you.
And on that note, we open the book, Dragon.
Yes, on that note, we open the book.
No, don't edit that out.
Okay, fine. Go, dragon.
That is so staying in.
I think if I remember right now, Frankie got castrated during the fight with the crocodile, but I can't really remember who did it.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was Igneous, as usual.
Probably.
Yeah, I'm quite sure it was.
Castration with a crossbow's that's quite accurate, actually.
But I remember the second time
Yeah.
he got injured.
He's
it was-
making a habit of it.
Yeah, he's not the first person now he's cock shot off, I'll be honest.
In fairness, he got his own shot off later on, so...
Yeah, but it got back, so...
And then gone again.
Yeah. Oh well, he got a good feel before it fell off again.
Maybe cocks can be like that.
Maybe it's like a lizard's...
Found it and then lost it again.
Yeah, maybe it's like a lizard's tail, it just, goes
Pops
back
off in
and
danger
Grows
well.
after a while.
But it's never quite the same.
Smoother.
And it always looks a bit... Yeah, it's a bit stubbier as well.
So, after the maiming,
Barry B. Beesby.
That was my dad's name. Sorry, that's kebab.
Your dad was a kebab.
No, that's what the sound of the stuff in my mouth is. Welcome to Penance RPG, the mukbang episode. Where I eat a kebab.
Porn in McDonald's for the last time, Barry.
It's not porn, just some people happen to masturbate to it.
So it's porn.
No, I would say that what makes something porn is the intent.
So what is your
Like
intent?
if someone was to rub one out to I don't know, this morning, that doesn't make this morning porn. It just means someone has a fetish for Philip Schofield.
Do you know anyone that has a fetish for Philip Schofield?
Not really, I'm just using that as an example.
It's quite a terrifying fetish.
I feel like it would have to be a fetish because it wouldn't be normal to be attracted to Philip Schofield.
This is the ambassador, guys. Listen to him and listen to his diplomatic.
He's got his own Ferrero Rocher supply and everything.
Yeah.
No, but he's a bit weird, isn't he?
Well, maybe,
He is a bit weird.
maybe people want to be made into Gordon the Gopher. I don't fucking know.
The fuck's Gordon the Gopher?
Gordon the Gopher was the puppet Philip
Jesus,
Schofield
you
used to
are-
have.
Back
you
in
are
the broom
such a
cupboard.
child.
Oh, so you're implying that someone wants Philip Schofield's hand up them. I get you.
I'm sure somebody does. The world is a strange place and full of weird people.
I'm sure someone does. Like I've said many times, everything is somebody's fetish.
He's probably married.
Are we talking Philip Schofield or the person with the fetish about Philip Schofield?
I was referring to Schofield.
Right. Anyway, let us move on.
Yes.
Let us move on.
He's married
Philip Schofield.
to Stephanie. He's married to Stephanie Lowe, who I imagine has a Philip Schofield fetish.
Does she want? No, you know what? I'm not going to ask that. Let's just move on.
Were you going to ask if she wants to be worn like a puppet?
Jesus Christ.
Stephanie Lowe, we would like you to get in contact with us. To hear more about this subject.
Yes.
Well, I'd like to hear it on her terms. You know?
On her terms.
Yeah.
Yes.